Hi there. So in this video, we will be learning about the form element in HTML. So let's get started. As you might remember from the last couple of videos, I have shown inside of the GitHub page, I believe. Yeah, so there was the form element there and it was enclosing everything. So we will be doing the same. So let's create one form element. Now if I do form and okay, let's just create by this way form, and this is the form element here we have, right? So if I just save it out and then go to the browser, so as you can see there is nothing. And why is that, and what is the benefit of using the form? So basically why we use the form element, the we use the form element to group together the data which is being sent from the different inputs and the different buttons and so on and so forth. Basically we have to grab the data from the form, right? So to do that we use the form element in HTML. So we use that for that. So now what we have to do, basically I can just cut it out, this ending form tag, and paste it out inside of here. Okay, now everything is being enclosed. This form element takes basically two main attributes. The first attribute is the action. So it will be the action, and this action specifies like, hey, when we have grabbed the data and when the user is submitting the form, where do we exactly want to send the data which we have got from the user? Okay, so it is a little bit harder to demonstrate, but if I just go to here and just, okay, let's just do that and grab the form element here. As you can see, so the action for this particular form which is inside of the GitHub is sign up /sign up, right? Now the thing is, we are currently learning HTML and CSS, right? So we will be able to build the like a good looking form or something like that, but the form will not be functional. And why, you might be thinking so, like because to like make a functional form, you need a server, you need a basically a backend, total backend to handle the form submission, which we are not currently having inside of our application. So our form will be like useless. But the thing is, it will look good and we will be learning how to create the beautiful form. Okay, now we have the action. For us the action is currently empty right now. So let's see, when we save that, what happens. If I just save and if I just zoom in a little bit, I cannot zoom the title bar, but yeah, if I just click on this, for a split second this form total web page, basically not the form but the total web page is reloaded. Okay, so that concludes that yes, there was a HTTP request being sent. Now like we have grabbed the data, right? We have grabbed the data and we are sending the data to somewhere to demonstrate like, hey, our form is currently working. So let's go to example.com. Okay, so this is basically a example domain and you can read about that as well, more information. Yeah, anyways, so I can just copy this example.com and I can paste it out here and just okay, slash, okay. Now this is the action for our form. So technically what should happen is that we should be grabbing the data, which we are currently not doing, by the way. We are not grabbing the data yet. We will learn that how to do that. But currently what is the expectation? The expectation is we hypothetically grabbing the data and sending the data to this example.com. So let's see that. So if I just go here, just refresh, and if I just click here, click me, as you can see, we are getting redirected to example.com. That specifies like, hey, our form is working and this logic is there. Okay, so this is the action. Now we can specify the different methods to like submit the form as well. So there is another like attribute which is called method, THO method, and here we have three things: dialog, get, and post. So let's go with the get right now. Or like many of the web pages, what you will see the get is capitalized, so I will do capital. Okay, now this is the HTTP method which we want to use. Now this is a little bit complicated, and this HTTP methods, all of the methods are basically covered up inside of the backend course or something like that. We might be able to cover that in the upcoming videos as well when we will be learning about backend. But in short, I can tell you some of the methods. So there are different type of HTTP methods to do the different things. Like we can like technically make a get request to this example.com, or we can technically make a post request in this example.com as well. And what that do basically, so I will copy paste something here. So let's add a comment here, HTTP methods. Okay, and what I can do, I can just create another comment here and I can copy paste something. Okay, so these are that. So let's have it here. So there are a bunch of different type of HTTP methods. We can like just briefly see some of them. So one of them is get, which is basically to get the data. One of them is post, which is basically to send the data. So if we want to handle the form submission, basically we like have to make a post request, right? Because our form is containing data and we want to send the data. We have the put method as well, which basically whenever we are sending the put method, the data has to be updated somewhere. And we have the delete method as well, which we use basically when we want to delete some data from our database. So basically these are four most popular and most useful HTTP methods, which is here. But again, if you are not able to understand this properly currently right now, because I know this is a little bit harder to understand inside of a HTML course, so yeah, don't worry about that. Basically there are different methods, and as you have seen, like inside of the autocomplete there was no put and the delete like inside of this method as well, because inside of HTML form we cannot use that. There are some workarounds, but I'm not getting into that right now. Basically there are different methods which we can have discussed briefly here. Now what we do technically, we do not use something like this. We like make our own endpoints, something like login or something like that, and whenever user is logging in, we can get the data, verify the password, verify the username, match. If the username and the password is matching, then we can make sure that user can log in. So we do something like this. Or suppose in Facebook or in some sort of social media application, you can create something like a posts endpoint, right? You can create a posts endpoint, and whenever you are making the get request, So you will get all of the post for the user. Whenever you are making a post request, you want to create another post, right? Whenever you are making a put request, you want to update some post. And whenever you are making the delete request, you want to delete a particular post. Basically, you have to specify the ID for that, but never mind. So this is basically how we use the form inside of HTML. So there is this form element, which is particularly used to group the form control data, which is basically the input data which we have currently inside of this form. And we can send the particular data to a particular location. So inside of this like this form element, we have two attributes. One is the action, which specifies like, hey, where to send the data. And we have the method, which specifies which method we want to use, like the HTTP method we want to use while sending the data. So I hope you have understood about the form element in HTML. All right.